I think the key message for me is the things that you did in the past, the things that worked for you in the past aren't necessarily going to work in the future.
Hello, I'm with Cian McLoughlin again. Welcome back, Cian.
Thanks, John.
Hey, in our last discussion, you mentioned your book.
Yep.
Right, Rebirth of the Salesman. Great book, and I thought, hey, let's get up and talk a little bit about the book and why you wrote it, and what was the key message you're trying to get across.
So, I mean, Rebirth of the Salesman. I took the title from the famous play Death of the Salesman. For me, what I'm seeing when I'm talking to customers, which I'm lucky enough to do on a regular basis, is the skills, the sales methodologies of old are no longer working. Customers and prospective customers are looking for something very, very different from their salespeople and their account managers these days. So I wrote the book really to highlight what those areas of change and evolution are in the sales process, and to help salespeople, young and old, to start to work on developing their own skills.
And I noticed there's a lot of very good stories in there, plus a lot of stuff that other people have helped you write, that brought their stories to the table to demonstrate that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it was about getting other people to write the book for me, but to some extent it's nice to have different perspectives. And what I tried to do is I brought some very well-known sales leaders and sat them down and interviewed them and asked them to tell me what they think is important in the salesperson of today, but also the salesperson of the future. But I also went to the other side of the coin as well and spoke to a number of customers and asked them the same question. I
really like that aspect of the book.
Well, I think if we don't get both sides of the coin, too often we get a blinkered view, and we kind of reinforce our own perception of, well, this is important and this is what salespeople is all about. We're not validating that with our customers, then we're missing the mark a little bit for me.
So if we talk about the bottom line of the book, the key message you want to get out to the sales world, salespeople, sales professionals, tell me what that is.
I think the key message for me is the things that you did in the past, the things that worked for you in the past aren't necessarily going to work in the future. Because in the past, you could almost be a little bit of a walking, talking sales brochure, right? We can't do that anymore because all of that information is widely available. What customers are looking for now is they're looking for somebody who's got a strong brand, who's got the ability to challenge them, who understand their industry extremely well, who can overlay the product or service or technology in the context of the customer's problems and really challenge their ideas about where they need to get to. They're looking for, it's almost a cliche to say a partner, but they're looking for somebody who can really add value, and that requires us to develop different skills than the ones we have at the moment.
If you're not adding value, all you've got's a product, and they can find out about the product separately without having you in the room.
Well, they absolutely can, and I think there's a lot of also soft skills. We talk a lot these days about sales being commoditized, and that is happening. And we have online sales platforms and web portals and all of that sort of thing. So the bottom end of the sales market is being chewed up with sales automation. There's a small level of growth being predicted by Forrester and other organizations at the very top end of B2B, where the sale is more complex, where it's longer. But in order to be able to take advantage of that as a salesperson, your skill set needs to evolve, and that evolution is something that I cover in depth in the book.
Hey, I love the book. I really think there's a good message in there, and thank you for sharing it with our audience.
It's a pleasure, John. Thanks for having me.